Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you tonight for this next album review, and this is going to be for Crossfaith ARK, an album that came out in late June that I never got a chance to check out for myself just until now, because I've been running behind on some reviews throughout the year. A few albums I missed, then and there, like less than 10. But I've gotten majority of them done already that I know of. And pretty much I'm going to discuss what I listened to for Crossfaith ARK and let you know my thoughts on their new 2024 album as a whole for the 10 tracks I listened to for 32 minutes. So let's dive into this album review. Now it starts with The Final Call, which actually is a pretty good song for how it sounds. I mean, granted, there are some critiques I have with this track, but it works very well with what it goes for. So this is a strong 4.75 out of 5. I mean, some of the electronic work in it is hit or miss, but execution-wise, this track worked in its own way for 1 minute and 52 seconds. So 4.75 out of 5. Then you get Zero, which was, I believe, the first single for this record. Pretty strong track. I like Kenta's screaming vocals and his clean vocals in this track. Worked very well for how it sounded, and execution-wise, it was one of my favorite songs, and one of the highlights for the track, for this album, pretty much. So this is a 5 out of 5 for sure. Then you get My Own Salvation, which is a pretty good track too in its own way. I'd give this a 5 out of 5. Give me a second, I gotta pause the video real quick. Sorry about that, guys. This cat that was in my room. My sister's cat wanted in my room, and then he decided to go out, so he couldn't make up his mind. But pretty much, he's a sweetheart. This cat. It's a different cat, but pretty much, he's a cutie for sure. So pretty much, My Own Salvation. Pretty good song for how it sounds. The screaming, the electronic work, Kenta's screaming and regular vocals sound strong. So 5 out of 5. Godspeed featuring Wargasm UK was a strong track. Really enjoyed this one for how it sounds. And Wargasm's vocals in it and the overall structure for this track did very well with the mixing and production. And just the way the overall track flowed was pretty strong, so this is a 5 out of 5. Warriors featuring Sim, pretty good song in its own way. It does play it a little safe, but it's not one of the worst tracks that I've listened to for this record, but it's not one of my favorites. It's one of the least favorites, but it's still pretty good in its own way. So a 4.75 out of 5 is what I'm giving it. Sim didn't do so bad, the band, in this song, but it's just the way it sounded overall. There were some cringe points with their singing from time to time, but with Kenta singing from time to time, it was hit or miss, but still strong for how it was. Headshot is a pretty good track. I really like Kenta's screaming vocals in this track, and just execution-wise, this track was a banger, and did offer a pack-a-punch with this track, with the drum work and guitar work. So this is a great Crossfaith song for sure. 5 out of 5. Lamb featuring Bobby Wolfgang. When I first heard this as one of the singles, I wasn't impressed. And I think this was the last single for this record's announcement. But overall, I just thought it was pretty good, but it does try too hard to be entertaining. It's a little bit of a try-hard song with how it sounds, structure-wise. Mixing and production is hit or miss. Kenta's vocals from time to time are just hit or miss. But you get some good points and some bad points in this track. Mostly the chorus is the one part that I wasn't on board with, but overall everything else was fine. 4.75 out of 5. Night Waves is too mellow of a track. I wasn't expecting Crossfaith to make a melodic song, but it's pretty good for how it sounds, so this is a 4.75 out of 5. Afterglow was kind of a good track, but not a great song. Didn't like Kenta's vocals in this from time to time, but overall, it's a track I gotta get used to for 2 minutes and 9 seconds, but it's a 4.5 out of 5 for me for this one. It's one of the least favorites, but not terrible in any way. Canopus was a strong track for 5 minutes and 4 seconds. It closes out the album very well. Definitely rocks for sure. Definitely a great closing track for this record, and a 5 out of 5 is well deserved for this track. I like Kenta's screaming vocals from time to time. Chorus is a little iffy, but it's still good for how it sounds, so still it's a strong track. It's one of my favorite songs as well. So overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Crossfaith's new record, ARK, is a pretty good record. It's going to be on the best albums of 2024, I can tell you that. But I wouldn't necessarily call it album of the year, but it is a strong record for how it is. And it performed very well. So, pretty much first score, excuse my yawning. First score for me, I'm giving Crossfaith ARK, their new record that came out back in June, like late June. I think it was like June 26th, so it's been about 5 months since this album's been out. I'm going to give this record a 8.5 out of 10. Strong record. Highly recommend you check this album out if you have not listened to this record. I know it took me a while to get to this record. I had plans to review it back in June, but I kind of got lazy and forgot. It just escaped my mind, this record, for a while. But it was something I was planning on reviewing. It was finding the right time to review it. And now that I have enough free time to review albums I missed out on in 2024, might as well go for it. So, whatever appeals to me is what I listen to. But other than that, 8.5 out of 10 for Crossfaith ARK, their new album that came out on June 26th this year. I hope you enjoyed this premiere video. It's premiering on the 21st, so definitely tune into this premiere video. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching this album review tonight.